Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. This morning we'll be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 6, verse 98, and the chapter is entitled The Glories of Sri Advaitacharya. We are very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. And it is all yours.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda eka-mātra aṁśī Kṛṣṇa aṁśe avatāra aṁśe dekhi jyeṣṭha-kaniṣṭha-ācāra. Translation. Lord Kṛṣṇa is the source of all incarnations, and all others are impartial incarnations. We find that the whole and part behave as superior and inferior.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, make it quick. I'm online doing a class now.
Okay, I thought class over. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Jyeṣṭha bhave aṁśite haya prabhu gyan kanishta bhave apanate bhakti abhimana. The source of all incarnations has the emotion of a superior when he considers himself as master, and he has the emotions of an inferior when he considers himself as a devotee. Purport. A fraction of a particle thing is called part, and from that which the fraction is distinguished is called the whole. Therefore, the fraction or part is included within the whole. The Lord is the whole, and the devotee is the part or fractional part. That is the relationship between the Lord and the devotee. There are also gradations of devotees who are calculated as greater and lesser. When a devotee is called great, he is called Prabhu. When he is lesser, he is called Bhakta or a devotee. The supreme whole is Kṛṣṇa, and Baladev and all the Vishnu incarnations are his fractions. Lord Kṛṣṇa is therefore conscious of his superior position, and all Vishnu incarnations are conscious of their positions as devotees. Om-gyam-timidandasya gnananjana salakaya chakshun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Saptitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatire Satarine Vanshakampattaru Bhaskripa Sindhu Bevacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Asabrita. There is one master, and all rest are his servants. So even within the category of Vishnu Tattva, there are those who serve the Supreme also. For instance, Baladev always tries to serve the Supreme Personality, although he is the Supreme Lord himself, and so are the Vishnu incarnations. Still, they're considered to be servants because they're always carrying out the order of the Supreme. As incarnations, they're designated to serve in a certain way or manifest certain qualities and characteristics according to the nature of the incarnation. Baladev, he is the immediate expansion of the Lord, but he always expands himself into different features in order to serve the Supreme. He is the Supreme serving as a devotee, but Still, he is the supreme. So Baladev serves Krishna in different ways. Nityananda serves Lord Chaitanya in different ways. There's different ways according to different rasas or mellows, relationships. So in order to give pleasure to Krishna, everyone, all living entities, find ways to serve the Lord in order to connect with the Lord, to purify their material existence, and to give pleasure to the Lord, which is the actual meaning of service. So something that is fractional is connected with the whole. We are called jiva. We are fractional. We are like, the comparisons like a spark of fire to the entire great fire. The spark also has illuminating power and also has burning power, but it cannot burn nor illuminate like the actual original fire. But still, the quality is the same, the quantity is different or greater in the absolute truth. So jiva means tiny. So it's the duty here of those who are in a lesser position to serve those in a superior position. And in that's you see that also in the material world. You have the employer and the employees, you have the family members, and then you have the master of the family. You have so many categories of gradations based on relationships that are greater and lesser. So that's there in the Supreme also, because that's actually, it originates in the Supreme and manifests here in the material world in relationships also. So it is our duty to serve the Lord. And if we don't serve the Lord, then we are outside of our actual nature. Therefore, we cannot find satisfaction, peace, or happiness when we go contrary to our nature. To serve the Lord is natural, because that is what we're meant to do. We have that position eternally, but when we come to the material world, we forget that position and we try to take up service in relationship to the different categories of people in this world, within families, within societies, within relationships, friendship. There are so many different categories of relationships. There's always superior and inferior. But as far as duty is concerned, our only duty is there. The duty sometimes is translated as dharma. The dharma actually comes from the root etymological world meaning D-H-I-H, which means essence. Dharma is the essence, or is the natural inclination. So there are also different kinds of dharma. There's pula dharma, there's silpa dharma, there's different kinds of dharmas. But then there's sanatan dharma. Sanatan dharma. What is our eternal dharma? Eternal dharma is jiva sarubhag, Kṛṣṇa and Vichadas. So if we don't serve the Lord, we'll be serving something else. But we serve something else, we don't actually gain from that service. We gain maybe some material benefit, but that material benefit is not a real gain because the real gain is the happiness of the living entity. Material service doesn't bring you happiness, it just brings you activity. It's about all. So therefore, all living entities are Mamaivam, so Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. Masastastani, Indriyani, Prakriti Stani, Karshati. Karshati means struggle, difficulties. So living entities in this material world are struggling with the material nature. And they can't overcome the material nature because material nature is Krishna's nature, as Krishna says, Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. It works under his direction. He set it up. He set it up in a certain way. And there are three energies that work similarly, but different within those three, in that category. The mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. Each one is an energy. Each one traps the living entity to serve in a certain way. And therefore, we're forced to take up a particular service and get a particular result based on that service. We cannot find success in that kind of activity because it's not our nature. It's external. It has nothing to do with you. It's based on the body, and the body is simply the material arrangements that we have made in this material world to try to enjoy separate from Kṛṣṇa, which is not possible. So therefore, this whole thing means to come back to our natural nature. We are meant to serve the Lord. And when we do, we can become happy, we can gain knowledge, and we can free ourselves from the suffering of the material energies, such as birth, death, disease, and old age, which are built in according to the material energy. You can't get around those things. They're part of the material energy, but you can somehow transcend them by engaging in devotional service, because their devotional service is outside of the three modes of material nature. It's called Suddha-sattva, transcendental goodness. That goodness which doesn't bring any kind of material result, either good or bad, but connects with us, the Kṛṣṇa, and elevates our consciousness to the spiritual category, which means to see everything in relationship to Kṛṣṇa and to serve Kṛṣṇa using whatever we have at our disposal. Manaso deho geho yukichu more arpilu to alpadena dekhi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that whatever he has, his home, his wife, his resources, his very body, it belongs to Kṛṣṇa, because Kṛṣṇa created all of these things. We're using Kṛṣṇa's creation either to try to enjoy it separately, which we can't, but we're still trying, or to use it as an item to offer to Kṛṣṇa in devotion. So either way, we can't stop serving. There's no way you can. And even if you don't serve anything in this material world, you find something to serve, such as your own mind, or a dog, or an animal, or something. No one can get away from service. It's just nature, our nature. So our success in life is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotion, and under the guidance of Kṛṣṇa's representative, the spiritual master, who expertly guides the disciple according to how best he can serve, how best she can serve. And then learning the mood of service. The mood of service is to offer whatever, Vacho, Buddhi, Aishwarya. In other words, offering our time, our energy, our resources, our actual life in devotional service. That is perfection, and that is the principle of ultimate and lasting happiness. So those who are actually intelligent will take up service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they know that is their best interest. They don't waste time trying to serve something that will give them no real lasting benefit. Some temporary gain, which is lost within the same amount of time that you gain it. So it comes and goes. Material energy is never steady. It's moving. It's called mutable, changeable. It's constantly changing. But we can't enjoy something that is always changing because we are stable within our spiritual practice. So the spiritual energy doesn't change, it just expands into greater forms of the same qualities. The happiness expands, the knowledge expands, the longevity of understanding our relationship with Kṛṣṇa, it also, everything's expanding. But in the material world, things come and go. And even when they come, there's no guarantee that we will have any enjoyment in it. Most of the time, people get what they want when they work hard for it. And a lot of the times, they're not even satisfied, or they lose it very quickly as soon as they gain it. That's the nature of the material world. So this place is just a rectification. It's meant to teach you what you forgot, our relationship with Kṛṣṇa. That's the purpose of the material world, to get us back to Kṛṣṇa by understanding that everything belongs to him. We also belong to him in devotion, like that. And so there's gradations in those categories, like it says here. Prabhupada talks about devotees. One is called Prabhu when he is in a better position spiritually, and when he's in a lesser position, he's called Bhakta, like that. But still, both of them are in the category of seva. One is serving with realization, the other one is serving out of duty. Okay, so something to think about. You can offer it up for some questions. Well, who are we? What's the purpose of life, and how to get success?
Marge, I missed the second last sentence you said, Marge. You said one is serving at the capacity of guru and the other one, Marge? I missed that.
Yeah, it's in the purport. It says here, when a devotee is great, he's called Prabhu. When he is lesser, he's called Bhakta. It's right in the purport.
Thank you, Marge. I just had to catch that before I start the class. Thank you, Marge. We thank the devotees for joining us. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to request devotees, if you have any questions, any comments, you can either put it in the chat or you can raise your hand, and I will call you in the order that you raise your hand. Marge, as you were reading the verse, Marge, what was coming to my mind is from the purport, when a devotee is great is called a Prabhu and a lesser is called a Bhakta. And we know that from Srila Prabhupada's, teachings, he says that we should address everyone as Prabhu. Then how do we balance that, Maharaj?
There's no contradiction. For us, everybody is more advanced than us. Therefore, we refer everyone as Prabhu. One doesn't see themselves as better or worse. One sees himself as servant.
Thank you, Maharaj.
When you talk about categories, then Prabhupada's saying, using those terms, those are in a position to accept service, and those are in a position to give service. In other words, the spiritual master is called Prabhu. And what Prabhupada's saying in this category? The answer, I mean, the terminology needs explanation. But when you call someone Prabhu, you're actually referring to them as master. But then there are those who are in a higher position. Like there's three categories: Kṛṣṇa-ācāra, Madhumā-ācāra, and Uttama-ācāra.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sridevi, you're up next.
I don't think he heard.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Sorry
Yes.
about this. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev. So when we see here that the avatars or the incarnations are also serving Krishna, that particular episode comes to mind where Krishna and Arjuna traveled to see Lord Vishnu to get, I think, I don't I don't remember the rest of it, but there's one episode where both of them travel and Mahavishnu, is it Mahavishnu?
Yeah, it was Mahavishnu.
Right. And there we can see how Mahavishnu is happy to serve Krishna.
Yeah, that was for
And
Arjuna's benefit. That's why Krishna arranged that.
okay.
To let him know that even Mahavishnu is his servant.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, now I can recall. Yes, Arjuna took that terrible vow, and yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. My
Okay.
obeisances.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Pavni, you're up next.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all Guru Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, you said that the material world is always changing and we can't hold anything material like forever. So is the spiritual world always the same? Can you please elaborate?
No, it's expanding, not changing. It gets greater and greater and greater. And there's also variety there too. Change in this material world means something begins, something ends, but in the spiritual world, nothing begins and nothing ends. Everything becomes greater. There's no death in the spiritual world. There's no birth in the spiritual world. There's no deterioration. Time doesn't affect spiritual activities. Even on this level, time doesn't affect our activities if we're fully engaged in devotional service. Yeah, so everything there is always expanding, becoming greater. And in this world, everything comes and goes. Look around you and see all the stuff you have in your house. At one day, it'll all be gone. And you'll be gone too. At least your body will be gone. You won't be gone. You'll be somewhere else. Nothing is permanent in this world. And the soul wants permanency because the soul will want something that it's not changing because the soul doesn't change. But it can't find it in the material world. It wants happiness, but it's always mixed with suffering. We want to live long, we want to live eternally, but we can't because we're trapped in this material body, which has a beginning and an end. So until we come to the spiritual platform, we'll always will be affected by the change in this world.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Ready?
Marge, as you were explaining how there's no birth, no death is expanding in the spiritual world. The thought that came to my mind, like, what the heck are we doing here? At least, what the heck am I doing? It was so beautiful to hear that, Marge. It was like, oh, Krishna.
Now, what are we doing here? We're trying to get out, that's all.
Yes. Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Absolutely.
Get out, we're trying to get into a better place now. Because getting out means getting back in, but where you gotta go? You can't just get out, you have to go somewhere.
Yeah. Marge, I was reading a nice quote from one of my devotee friends, I think a couple of weeks ago. And she put it so nicely, Marge. She said, we are trying to go, how'd you say? She says, we are trying to find our way home. We shouldn't think that we are going to a foreign place. She was saying is we're trying to find our way home, back home. And I liked how she chose that word, we're trying to find our way home where we came. It's not a new place.
No, if you think you're this body, then you make your homes here. But if you know you're spiritual, then your home is in the spiritual world.
I've been thinking about that comment. I mean, that statement she meant for a few weeks was so sweet. Such a nice way she put it. Sorry, Marge.
The Prabhupada said it over and over. And back home,
Yeah.
back to Godhead.
Back home. Yep.
For no reason. Back home, back to Godhead.
Marge, there's a question here from Daria. She said, should we try to serve Krishna in our nature, or should we still do different services that's not within our nature? Because when I think of book distribution, sometimes devotees feel that it's not their nature. So should they focus on services that are in accordance to their nature?
That's Prabhupada's program, but that has to be organized. You can't just jump into that. You can, but then there's no cohesion in that. In order for there to be a cohesive society, there has to be an organization, because each one of the positions or natures serves the others, and each has a role that plays in relationship to their own service and to the greater whole. That's Varnashram system. The Brahmins, they are the priests. They guide spiritually, and they also guide in other ways. They guide the Kshatriyas on how to rule. The Kshatriyas are rulers, and they also protect people. They also make sure all the living entities under their control have proper duties according to their positions also. And you have the Vaishnavas, they're the backbones in terms of providing all of the needs within society. And the Sudras, they can serve in different ways, and they can also develop arts and crafts also. So when you jump into that without any organization, you can do that. But we have that. People are serving according to their nature, but because it's not organized within the society, that's what Prabhupada wanted, the organization. Then you have a strong social, spiritual body, and then it becomes natural to serve in a certain way, and your service contributions benefit everyone, not just you. So we have a loose form of that now. It's not that everyone is part of that loose form, but it's there. But then when it's organized, then society will grow exponentially. Varnashram is the material basis of successful execution of devotional service. Although it's not spiritual, it's foundational.
Thank you, Marge. Sorry.
Prabhupada started the movement by training everyone to become Brahminically inclined, but he knew that would be just to set the standards and develop a class of Brahmins who would be the teachers. But then he went on to explain that we also need the Kshatriyas, the administrators, the fighters, and then we also need the Vaishyas, those who take care of cows, and those who do banking, commerce, provide foodstuffs for the entire society. So unless there's a balance and an organizational cohesion amongst it, society becomes somewhat, what we say, not much advancement is made on a larger level, or even on an individual level. It's called Daivi Varnashram. not just varnashram, daivi varnashram.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sorry.
In the first canto, it's the duty of the spiritual master to observe the disciple and see how best the disciple can serve.
I think, I don't know if Daria is still there, but she did say that she was going to play back the message if she had to leave. Marge, I have a 5 or 6 part question from Abhishek, and I'm going to go one by one, and I'll go back and forth between, him and if anyone else raises their hand. His first question, Maharaj, is how should we act in complex situations when different duties or instructions seem to conflict?
And then you inquire. If it's given that way, then you can inquire to those who give it. If you find yourself in that situation yourself, then you have to have the intelligence how to, see where the priority exists. You may have to, there's a kirtan program at night, but you also have to cook an offering for the deities. So they're both happening at the same time. So then you have to use your intelligence. Okay, my duty, kirtan will go on whether I'm there or not, but my duty has to be executed. That's an example of apparent contradiction, or not contradiction, something that conflicts with something else due to a time principle. That's all. What's another example? You have devotional service means to depend on Krishna, but you have to work in such a way that you are putting all your effort, time, energy, ability into the execution of devotional service. That doesn't mean depend on Krishna. It doesn't mean you don't do anything or don't try. So
Thank you, Mark. Sorry.
There will be conflicting situations sometimes.
Marge, his other question is, and it's his other question is, how should we act in complex situations? He said that he was listening to a lecture about Bhishma Dev when Bhishma brought the 3 princes, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika, to marry his brother. And Amba later expressed, that she has a desire to marry Bhishma himself, and Bhishma refused, took a lifelong because he took the lifelong brahmacharya vow. And then at that point, his guru, Parshuram, who was Bhishma's guru, told him that there were 2 duties involved. One was the duty of a Kshatriya to accept a woman who desires to marry him, and the other was the duty to strictly follow the vow. So he's saying that, that seemed to be a conflict, in instructions. He said that he saw a similar kind of situation when he was reading Bhakti Vikas Swami's book, The Mission of Srila Prabhupada. And he was saying in one chapter, he described how a woman approached Srila Prabhupada asking for permission to establish a house when only women would lead all the programs. So I think what he was trying to say, Maharaj, rather than going to all this whole long thing, he said that in our personal lives, we also face such situations. So how do we
Yeah, it takes
act?
intelligence. Use your intelligence. Not everyone, there's no like written formula how to act in every situation. The written formula is your attitude, your ability, your intelligence, your resourcefulness. You have to do it. Not everybody's going to tell you do it this way, that way. Even if somebody tells you to do it this way, that way, doesn't mean that it's going to be the best for you. In the case of Bhishma, because he touched her, then no other man would marry her. And that's why, she said, now, I can't get married now. I can only get married to you because you touched me. A woman's chastity is broken at that point, and then she has to marry that person. But he said, I took a vow. So he, and then Parasuram jumped in. But Parasuram realized that ultimately, after the fight, nobody won the fight. And Parasuram offered his obeisances to Bhishma and allowed him to go on with his own choice. So, yeah. And the thing is, you have to use your intelligence. Nobody's going to tell you everything, how to do everything, how to tie your shoe. Should you have some ice cream at the end of the meal or not? Nobody, you have to use your intelligence. I was just with Radha Bhakti Madhuri today and so the ice cream subject came up. And she said no, and I said yes. So she used her intelligence, and I used mine. Same situation.
And yours will always prevail, Maharaj, over ours.
I think she was more right about me than I was. So, not everybody's going to hold your hand and constantly. You have to grow up. Grow up and learn how to use your discrimination to make decisions in your spiritual life and even in your material choices too.
Thank you, Marge. Yes, Habhishek said thank you. He appreciated that answer. Anyone else has a question, please do raise your hand if you have a question, or you can put it in the chat. I'm trying to catch up with the chats here. It's quite a bit, so I don't miss anybody's question.
I would add an answer.
Well, it's coming to me personally for some reason, as opposed to putting it.
Yeah. I would add an answer to that question. And I would say, what fosters Krishna consciousness the most should be your decision. So use that as the guiding line. Will eat the ice cream. Will eating the ice cream make me more Krishna conscious, or will not eating the ice cream make me more Krishna conscious? So then you use it that way, and then that's the best way to look at it. If my health goes down because I eat the ice cream, then that'll affect my Krishna consciousness. But if I eat the ice cream and I feel like dancing around the table, that might help my Krishna consciousness. So I'm just taking a very simple, mundane example that we have to base our decisions on what is favorable for our spiritual life and what is unfavorable for our spiritual life. And if we do something to hurt our health or something on the material life, well, it might also impinge and make our spiritual life more difficult. So that's the focus. What is beneficial for my spiritual life?
Marge, when you're speaking about the ice cream, I was reminded about I don't know, Marge, if you were in Gitanagri at that time, but I think you were. This was during one Rath Yatra. I'm thinking it was either the late 90s or early 2000 that Bhaktitirtha Swami didn't get French fries. And he wanted French fries so bad that he gave a class on French fries, and it's called French Fries Lila. Do you remember that, Marge?
No. But it sounds like something Bhaktitirtha Swami would turn into something interesting.
Marge, it was a 1.5 hour class and it was all about French fries. It's actually recorded
Boy,
because he didn't get it.
okay, well, he got it in a subtle way by talking about it.
It was just hilarious. So when you talked about ice cream, he was attached to French fries. That's what reminded me about it.
Yeah,
It was
I wasn't attached to the ice cream. I just thought, why not?
Bhakti Tirtha
Martha.
Maharaj also liked pizza and ice cream. Remember, he gave a class where he said, maybe we should have pizza and ice cream.
Anything that's bad, he liked. I mean, that's the thing. And anything, I mean, he called himself a spoiled Cleveland something, spoiled Cleveland brat, something like that.
All right. That's from the material perspective. From the spiritual
Yes.
perspective, he spoiled everybody else's material life.
He sure did, Maharaj. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark, there's a question here from Kirti. Prabhupada says when someone addresses women as mothers, we should treat them as sons. How should our dealings be with brahmacharis as mothers?
Yeah, sons, but not in the same familiar way. In other words, when you address a woman as mother, it's a position of respect. Because women naturally become mothers in the real sense, but they also have that inclination. Even when they're a little girl, you see little girls play with dolls and they have little houses. They're practicing for their motherhood because it's their nature like that. So what was the rest of the question?
She just asked, how should we treat the brahmacharis? No, what should our dealings be
Well,
as mothers?
We should offer the brahmacharis something that would be beneficial for them. In other words, we could cook for them. We could wash their clothes. We could, may not always be possible. Prabhupada did say that, but he didn't give any details. In other words, it takes it off the sensual platform. It puts it on the mood of service, the mood of caring.
Rishabha said that they could get some socks, so I think brahmacharis always need socks, Maharaj.
Yeah, they usually have 2 different color socks.
One white,
Maharaj,
what
on
the
the
ones?
subject of little girls playing with toys and having cooking and doing, I never did that. I never did that. In fact, I would go and disrupt all the other girls when they were doing that, especially my sisters. No
I
wonder
know.
they don't talk to me now.
I'm reaping the consequences of the fact that you did.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions from devotees? Please do raise your hand. This is such a nice topic. Actually, Marge, I'm going to switch over to Parikshit to take over, but I have a question, Marge. When we were reading the purport, what was coming to my mind, one word that was coming to my mind is respect. And Vaishnav etiquette, between a devotee who is great, we call them Prabhu, and a lesser devotee as a bhakta. So, Marge, how can we develop the respect if our minds trip into that differences? And how can we nullify that and not be judgmental?
Well, when you respect another living entity, you're respecting both that soul, that is that person, and Krishna, who is sitting in the heart of that person also. When you offer obeisances to another devotee, you're offering respect to both the Lord and who's in the body of that devotee and that person. All parts, all living entities are dear to Kṛṣṇa. And so if we know that they're all dear to Kṛṣṇa, and we want to please Kṛṣṇa, we'll treat all living entities with respect. Otherwise, we minimize their position. We see them in terms of the bodily differences. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, somehow I live in this world because I give respects to all living entities, even to the non-devotees. We don't associate with them, but we give them a respect because they are also Krishna's parts and parcel. We serve them by trying to bring them to Kṛṣṇa consciousness.
And Marge, is it because when we are not able to do that is because we're not able to see the Kṛṣṇa in the heart of the devotee or a non-devotee, whoever it is, Marge? Is that what's blocking that whole respect?
We'll not be able to do what?
We're not able to see the Lord in their heart, as you were mentioning, because Kṛṣṇa is in everyone's heart, whether it's dormant or whether they're aware or not.
That's one thing, but then there's another thing. What is the three principles that make up a learned man? Do you know the three principles that make up a learned person?
Marge, no, I would want to hear from you, Marge.
I do.
Okay.
The first is that he sees every woman other than his wife as mother. Second, he sees the properties of others as garbage in the street. That means not to be touched. And the third is he would do for others as he would for himself. That means he treats everyone as dear to himself, as dear as he is to his own self.
Yeah, he would treat others as he would want others to treat him.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Prabhupada talks about that. This is called real knowledge. One who practices these three is a learned man, learned person.
Thank you, Marge. This is very important points. Thank you so much. Anyone else has a question? I just switched it to Parikshit because I have to start work, Marge, but I want to make sure that is there any questions, please do raise your hand.
We got one here.
Oh, please. Yes, Marge, please.
Please go ahead.
You talked about Varnashram, and in beginning days in Sridhar Mayapur, there was only chakra building, and there were many robbers and bandits. So that time, the brahmacharis, not much devotees were there, but all the brahmacharis and every devotee used to fight back with them. So right now we don't see that. Like even if like wrong things are happening to Madhujis or any devotees, but devotees don't fight back. Why is this?
I don't know if I agree with you. You're just making a generalization. That's not necessarily true.
Okay.
It's not you can't just generalize and say this is not happening. It is happening, but maybe not 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? I don't see anything on the chat yet. Shimati, I made your co-host. Yeah. Sorry.
We can end here if there's no more questions.
Yeah. But thank you very much for always your classes is so much we learn from.
Just wait a minute and see if there's maybe someone else has a question.
Hmm.
We'll give about another 30 seconds and see if any questions come up. If they don't, then we can end. We have a
Okay.
lot of people online today. We got 45 people here.
Yeah. Now, at first, at some point, it was even over 50. I guess
Mhm.
people had to go. Yeah. It came to 53 and then came down.
Highest that I've ever seen for this particular class.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. I still don't see anybody else asking a question. But Maharaj, would like to take us to japa? It's up to you.
No, actually, I would have to tend to a few other things right now. But I
Okay.
can take questions, but aside from that, no.
Somebody up there. Okay. All right. I understand. I
Well, you
don't see any.
we should not let the fact that I can't stay. You can also have a japa session.
Okay. I've already made Simati, I made the co-host. So if you want to pull up a lot of Christian pictures, when we do, then we can do those who want to. We can do our japa session, which definitely will be helpful to everybody. Those who want to stay. But
So disappear. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for well, see most of you tomorrow night for our regular class on the Srimad Bhagavatam.
try. Thank you, Maharaj, for coming on and giving us so much mercy information to help us improve in our spiritual life. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
So,
so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jai. So devotees that want to stay, Maharaj is gone. Devotees that want to stay, we can do maybe 10 minutes or so.
Yeah,
of
I
chanting.
would like to do 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of japa. If you can, Parikshit Prabhu.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Shimati, did you on pull a picture of Radha Krishna? If you can. If not, then I'll make Sridevi co-host.
Actually, I'm on my phone, Parikshit Prabhu. My laptop doesn't work, so I can't help with the pictures.
All right. Well, we'll start soon. Let me just go on Google now and see if I can pull up something. There's plenty of them on Google, so what this could give me a little break here with this book. It says Radha Krishna images. So here we go. Hare Krishna. Okay. Come back on here. See if I can share. Just bear with me a little bit. And the whole thing is only like that. Well, let's see. I think the whole thing has come on. Now I'll try to get one out for everybody. I'm not the best when it comes to these things. Okay. Well, I'll still start anyway because you can't just be sitting a long time. But Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,